Hello and welcome to your Action Coach planning pack for 2025. The intention behind this quick video is just to give you a bit of a walkthrough so you've got an understanding as to how to use the pack to your best advantage. So let's get straight into it. Let's just start off with the headline financials. As you start to tip into a new year, now I appreciate the caveat to all of this is that you might be in the middle of your financial year, you might just be about to start your financial year, but the intent is that we should never really start a year without at least knowing what we're trying to achieve from a financial ambition point of view. So at the simplest level, this is effectively a P&L, if you like. So again, if I were to just look back at the last financial year and say we did £1 million of business, we had £550,000 of cost of sales, which gave us a 450 grand gross profit, and then we had overheads or admin costs of 300, which gives us 150 grand. That's maybe the facts that you can pop in from your last year's financials. And what, of course, that starts to generate is the percentage ratios as well. So cost of sales accounted for 55% of sales. Gross profit was 45. Overheads is at 30, which leaves us with an operating profit of 15. Those are your numbers. In terms of what you're looking to then achieve in the financial year coming up, let's just imagine we said, okay, let's aim for 1.2 million. But what we expect is that our costs in absolute terms will go up. 625. However, what you'll notice here is we're starting to hopefully become a little bit more efficient with how we buy things or how we deploy our team to kind of do the jobs maybe more efficiently. And so actually we're looking at as the revenue goes up, our costs will go up, but actually to a lesser extent. So we're now starting to spend a bit less on our cost of sales. And of course, the opposite of that is that what happens is it drops down to gross profit. So again, we'll see that our gross profit's gone up because our cost of sales has gone down. And then again, we might say, right, we need to increase overheads in some way, but again, we might still be looking to shave off maybe 3 percentage points. So where in the P&L might we be able to make some savings or efficiencies that allows us to effectively drop it to operating profit. In this instance, we're aiming now for a business that can turn over 1.2 million, make 48% gross profit, and achieve 21% operating profit or £250,000. So that would be the financial ambition. So again, your numbers will clearly be different. This is just an example, but actually that's the makeup of your P&L. So again, let's walk into that. That becomes this, for example, would become my financial targets, if you like. Now, within that, there's a lot more that you could start to target, but again, at headline level, that's absolutely great. Then where we want to get to, I'm going to show you the end result first, and I'll show you how we get there. I want to then do a little bit of a spider graph summary that just says, as we look across the key elements of your business and your life, those being marketing and sales, operationally, and then from a finance and people side of things, we're going to start to and also I've got here our personal graph as well. Again, you'll see how this is completed in a second. I've just done marketing and sales as an example. It just says, okay, around some core component parts of marketing and sales, it allows you to just have a little bit of a view on how you would rate yourself in this area. And really, the purpose of this exercise is ultimately to say, where are we strong, which we need to continue to be strong in? Where are we weaker, that we have maybe some improvement areas to focus in on, and around which we can maybe set some goals and priorities. So again, I won't bother reading this out. You can read that for yourselves, but you can see that the input exercise has kind of said, okay, here's how we've scored ourselves, and therefore that's what the shape of things is. So you can see here, when it comes to things like our average sale performance and our margin, we're pretty high. We're not quite so good on our target market and maybe our lead generation approach, right? Maybe some work to do there. and so on as we go through each of the areas of your business. So um, again, I'll come into how you get there. This is just the summary sheet for that. And then we want to get ourselves to a position where we've got some nice clean goals for each aspect of our business that we can then start to put some kind of plan around. So again, you can see, having gone through an exercise which I'm about to take you through, you can see for marketing and sales, we've agreed on saying, look, there's 4 kind of big goals for marketing and sales, and these are the dates by which we would like to have those goals knocked over. So again, that would be ultimately a summary sheet. Once you've done your work, this will all self-populate as to the key goals. Now we've got spaces there for 6. Again, in this instance, I've only used 4. I don't have to fill all of them up. And when I'm finished with this, I might just tidy up and remove these rows. Okay, but you'll end up with a nice summary sheet of the goals grouped by the key area of your business. And then actually where we'll get to, again, when you go through the exercise, which I'm about to come on to, you'll start to see, right, we've got the makings now of a plan. So again, this was the goals that we had set for marketing and sales. Well, actually, there are some key actions that we'll need to deliver across the year. And again, when we get to this detail, you'll start to see what that looks like, and also who's responsible for them, and when in the year we would expect to be landing at those tasks. So the question that you're asking yourself at this point is, okay, all very well, Alan, but if you've just shown me the summary here, that's a summary page, so too is that on the goals, and here's the plan summary. How do I actually do this? Well, this is where we then go to each tab. There's one for personal, marketing and sales, operations, finance, and people, of course. So let's just land on the marketing and sales, which is the one I've completed for you. So this is where you just go through the exercise that says, okay, try and assess yourself in terms of, in this area of your business, how do you feel that you're doing? And again, score it on a score of 0 to 10. How are you doing? Be honest with yourself. Don't just say you're rubbish at everything or that you're brilliant at everything. I'm pretty sure there's going to be pockets there where you've got some real competence, and listen, there's going to be some gaps as well for sure. So again, just be honest. And as you go through that exercise there, it'll start to hopefully throw up some kind of ideas, some kind of other questions. It says, all right, what must I do? And maybe just use this as a bit of a dumping ground for anything that is popping into your head that says, right, we should do that, or let's think about that a bit more, because really this part of the exercise is just designed to get you thinking and then to dump some thoughts down. What we often do is we think of an idea and then rush into planning it, and it's like, whoa, it might just be an idea at this moment, and it might turn out to be a bad idea. So we don't want to kind of put a plan behind a bad idea. So let's just pause for a moment, get the ideas collated, and then start to kind of say, right, okay, let's kind of kick them around a little bit more. Let's now start to put some structure to that, maybe a little bit of priority to some of the ideas. If you're anything like me, I come up with lots of ideas. Most of them are rubbish, and it's only when you look back and you say, okay, that was a rubbish idea, but I spent time on it. I wish I hadn't. Now, we'll never eliminate that, but we can also kind of think about it and say, right, which ones do I back myself on? Which ones am I going to commit to doing? And what do I think will have a real impact? Because they're the ones that start to deserve a little bit more thinking. Because then we start to formulate maybe some key goals for marketing and sales. So again, we've only got our head at the moment in marketing and sales. So ignore everything else in your business. Say, right, what are the things that I want to do? And in this instance, we've got, again, I won't waste time by reading it, but you can start to see that I've arrived on, look, there's 4 big things. If I could do that in this year, then that would be getting to a good place. So I want to really put some efforts behind achieving these things. Okay, so how do I do that? Well, I now need to then start to think about that in a bit more granular detail, that says, okay, in order for me to maybe do this one here, to get clearer on my target market and compile a list of prospects, well, I need to maybe review my current customers, and categorize them by the quality and the spend that they have with us. Again, there's another action down here. I maybe want to rebrand the services in line with my new target markets that I've defined. Now, again, I'm only giving some examples here, but you can start to see, right, as you set the goal and then think about how you deliver it, you start to think about the different things that you need to do. Now, who's going to own each of these tasks? Because hopefully it's not just going to be you, you're going to have a team, or you're going to have some outsourced support. There's going to be someone else that can do it. So in this instance, we've got Bill, Bob, and Betty and Beryl. Again, they all know what they have to do, and then we've started to give some kind of order to how this will be done within the year. Now again, I'm looking at things from a monthly and a quarterly basis, but of course, when we get to doing quarterly plans, you can now start to look at Q1 and say, okay, if that's what we need to do, let's now get some even crisper actions that are more defined than that and it might be that we might have to involve more people in getting things done. But again, you're just starting to kind of get more and more detailed around your plans. Okay, so you've now brought a bit of an idea through to some goals through to some actions, and then those actions have got an owner and also a time frame in which they need to be delivered. And really, that's the process that you're going to be spending time on during and after the formal session that we have at Norton House uh, um, on Wednesday, the 11th of December. So there we go. I hope that helps there. And the last thing, by the way, sorry, there's the same kind of format for every single aspect of your business. And then we've got a nice calendar here for 2025. The reality is you're going to be setting some goals. And again, if you've seen the video of the rocks in the jar, it's about saying, how do we get the most important things actually put into your diary before we really get into the chaos of next year. So again, it's just a nice little, we can explain that in more detail on the day, but certainly, again, let's take this personally. I like to run some races, half marathons. I did a marathon, was it earlier on this year? So again, in order to make that happen, because it's a goal, then of course we need to then say, right, when's the marathon I want to run? Okay, let's now block that out on the weekend of the 17th and 18th. Then let's block that in. That's the rock in the jar. That's going to happen. I just now need to do the training to then arrive on the day ready to run the marathon, and so on and so forth. So again, this is all about getting the big important stuff put into your diary, and then I guess ultimately rattled into your Outlook or your Google calendars, just so that you've got, at the end of the day, what does it say? Change happens in the diary. So let's make sure that the diary has got all the key dates in there that help you achieve what you want to achieve. So there we are. A quick run through of your pack. We will explain this in more detail, obviously, on the day. Have a pour through it prior to the day itself, and you'll at least be starting on the day with a jogging start as opposed to a standing start. Okay, hope that's helpful. Of course, if you've got any questions whatsoever, then you just have to reach out to your coach, and they'll explain in more detail anything that you need to know. Okay, hope that makes sense. All the best, everyone, and look forward to seeing you at annual planning on the 11th of December.